Good morning, everybody. This is Sean Price with Price and Price Realtors, and getting a lot of questions about what the current, how the COVID-19 situation is affecting buyers in the market. So there are 5 things that buyers need to know, especially here in the Northern Virginia market. The neighborhoods that we like to work primarily, Sterling, Vienna, Tysons, Great Falls, Mclean, those areas. So this all really applies to that. First and foremost, if you're a buyer and you have time and you can kind of sit back and relax and don't have to buy right now, then it's best to stay home and stay safe. Keep the social distancing. The more we can all stay out of the market and the more that we can all stay isolated, the quicker this thing passes. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, we have buyers that we're working with in situations where they don't have the luxury of waiting. So, for example, we have a person that is going through a divorce and has to find a place to live by mid-May because she's out of her house. So in those situations, there are things that can be done to make sure that this is safe. So with your realtor, make sure that your realtor is following safety protocols to make sure that there's proper social distancing and proper sanitization. And it's both on the buyer's side, the buyer's agent side, but also there are things that the listing side can do to make sure that the house is safe to go into. So look out for those protocols. So that's number 2. So number 1, stay home if you can. Number 2, if you can't, make sure that the proper protocols are being followed. Number 3, remember that in Virginia and in most states, real estate is considered an essential business. So business is happening. There are some new obstacles that we have to go through, but houses are being sold, deals are being closed. For example, we've sold 2 houses in the last 2 weeks. So the lenders are lending. Real estate are the interest rates are still really low, so it's still something that's very beneficial. Lenders are lending and title companies are closing. So there are some lenders that aren't lending. There are some title companies that aren't doing deals because they weren't equipped. So if you're running into obstacles there, feel free to reach out. We'd be happy to refer some people to you. The fourth thing is that prices do seem to be staying stable. The good thing for a buyer is that there's less competition. So while the prices are stable, you're likely to be able to get into a potential offer and get an offer accepted without the multiple offer situations and the competition that was driving prices artificially high. So keep in mind, you're still going to pay retail for a house. You're not going to get a great deal right now. Prices are not going down at this point, but there is less competition, so there is an opportunity there. And number 5 is that window of opportunity with less competition is starting to close, because what we see happening is inventory levels are starting to come down while buyer activity came. Okay, so when we started this, inventory was here, buyer activity was here. Actually, buyer activity was more here. And so you had multiple offer situations. Well, within a matter of a few weeks, buyer activity went like this. So there was quite a bit of opportunity there, but what's happening now is inventory is starting to come down. So that buyer leverage, that buyer opportunity to get out of the competition situation is starting to decrease, and eventually they're going to hit that same spot. It'll be at a lower level, smaller market, but it's still going to hit that same spot where you may end up in multiple offer situations. Also, we don't know when these restrictions are going to be lifted, so we may be getting close to the end of that as well. Based on the fact that we were in such a strong seller's market when this started, there's a good chance that as soon as the restrictions are lifted and everybody starts getting back in the market, it's going to go into another strong seller's market. So that's something to keep in mind. So these are the 5 points that buyers really need to be aware of right now. First and foremost, stay safe. And then, if you have any questions, please feel free to post below or reach out to us. And everybody stay safe and healthy.